Hey folks, welcome back to the channel.
Hello.
So, this is the day before the video goes out because Kirk has been faffing quite a bit.
It's not faffing. I just had a few technical issues
Stay tuned.
that needed sorting out, and it sort of pushed me back a little bit.
Anyway, this is our contribution to the collaboration for bloody St. Patrick's Day.
That's it.
Organised by April over at Dragons in Dresses Crafts. Too many dragons.
Yeah.
There is a playlist in our description.
Yep. Make
sure you give it a watch because there are some very intriguing looking projects in there.
Yeah.
So if dark is your thing, that's the playlist for you.
Indeed.
So, oh dear. I'm just okay. I'm going to ask, what are we doing?
Well,
when I say we,
it's the royal we.
It's the royal we.
Yeah.
What have you spent the last 2 weeks? How long have you been doing this?
It's taken me about 2 weeks.
Yeah. So what have you spent the last 2 weeks?
Well,
baffling about it.
I was doing some research on leprechauns.
As you do.
Yeah. And while they are mischievous, they're not inherently evil or nasty. They're just tricksters.
Yes. However,
I did find one.
Of course you did.
Yes. And he is named Bailuran.
I was just going to go with Balorian.
Or Balorian.
Because it rhymes with the Mallorean and it's just kind of...
It's Baelora with a umlaut and an N.
Okay.
Bailorian.
All right, Balorian.
We'll go with that.
I wanted to call him Charlie, but Balorian is where we went.
Yeah. So apparently he was a cobbler.
Yes.
For all of the magical creatures.
Right.
And he was very good.
Okay.
And he got very rich because he was so good that he got well paid.
Yeah.
However, so he stored all of his gold and that in an enchanted cauldron because
that's what you do when you're a leprechaun.
Well, yeah, and he was greedy and he didn't want other people to steal his gold.
I don't think that makes you greedy. I think that's just good fiscal sense.
Okay. But he wasn't too impressed with all of the humans trying to nick his treasure.
Wow. No. I mean, you wouldn't be, would you?
And he wasn't a fan of doing the trickster thing like all of his brethren.
Yes.
So he devised a more sinister fate for anybody who tried to steal his pot of gold.
Okay.
So what he did was he put a spell on his cauldron.
Right.
And what would happen is that anybody that tried to steal his gold would be drawn into the pot.
Yes.
And melted down and actually turned into a coin.
Oh, I want one of those cauldrons. I can think of a few people.
So it would, so as they touched the cauldron, it would
turn them into
draw them in.
Okay.
And they would be poured into this molten gold, and they would they would actually be smelted into gold.
So you decided to make this Balorian.
I did.
Out of
I was thinking about using epoxy resin, but I thought that would be too much of a faff. So I did it out of clay.
Okay.
Now, this little spray gun this is Gertie's fault.
Yeah.
Because I saw this on hers and I thought, oh, that looks really cool. I've always wanted an airbrush.
Mm-hmm.
So I got this and it worked quite well. However, there was, let's just say that you weren't overly impressed while you were trying to watch stuff and I was painting because
there was a buzzing sound.
I actually feared for my life at one point.
I was trying to watch something. It was very important that I was watching it. And all I could hear was bzzz going on in the background. Really annoying.
Yes. Well, I mean, it didn't really bother me.
That's because you don't watch things. You can only do one thing at a time. I can craft, watch things, and chat all at the same time.
No, you can't.
I absolutely can.
No.
I can. What I can't do is those three things and record.
No, because the other day, I remember a spillage.
Yes, let's not talk about
that. No, we're going to
We're supposed to be talking about the video.
Yes, but you brought up the fact that you can multitask. However, you were pouring some resin into a mould while also watching a YouTube video.
I was.
And you were so engrossed in watching the YouTube video that you weren't paying attention to what you were pouring, and it over the sides, over the board,
overpoured a smidgen.
Yeah, a little bit, yes. To which point you went, "Oh, I forgot that."
Yeah. Yes. Well, I was engrossed.
Yeah.
But it was a very, okay. Moving on. What are you doing in the video? How about we talk about the video?
Okay. So I've done the body.
Well, we saw that.
I've done the body. I've painted his legs.
Yeah.
I've put a vest on him. And I've sprayed that as well. Now I sprayed it it was like a pink.
Yeah.
And then I muddied it up with a little bit of brown, like a dark wash.
Yeah.
It's looked a bit pale. If I was going to do it again, I'd have maybe done a different base color.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a not a shirt. It's
tunic.
A shirt. Yeah, that type of thing.
No, they are tunics.
Yeah.
That's the correct term for them.
Okay. Anyway, so now I'm making a belt, and the belt buckles and the belt loops.
Yeah.
And now attaching it to said tunic. So, and I've added the end of the.
I do have one question.
Okay, only one.
At this juncture, yes.
Okay.
Why do all of your characters have a pot belly?
Why not?
Okay, just wondering.
Because if it was just you could see his chest and everything, maybe I would do give him some abs and some pecs. But it's covered, so I'm giving him some moobs and a pot belly.
I think when we do our sci-fi collab, details coming soon. Plug. When we do our sci-fi collab, you should do like a space marine or something with abs and something that I would enjoy to put my eyes upon.
I'll just take my shirt off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back soon.
Pausing the video.
Right, what are you up to now?
So I've put his so that is going to be his jacket.
Yeah.
And I am putting the shoulders on. So I did this one a little differently. I didn't put the arms attached to the armature. So I could do this separately. So I could take it off, do the arm.
Yeah.
And then glue the joint and put it back in.
Right.
Which allowed me to do the tunic.
Yeah.
actually paint the tunic properly and do some of the overcoat.
Yeah.
Put some wrinkles in there and that, and then I could do that as well.
Right. Okay.
And I did find that it worked a lot better. It was a lot easier to sculpt like his bingo wings.
Yeah.
And I just felt it was a lot easier to do. So
do you think going forward that you'll do your sculpts like that in future?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that for ease, the attaching of it, I need to make the armature a little bit longer so it goes further into the actual body.
Yeah.
Just so that there's a bit more to
stability.
Yeah. Well, to bind to the actual main part.
Yeah.
Because I did have.
Well, we'll see that in a moment. There was a mishap.
There was a mishap. Well, there was a couple of mishaps, but this was quite a big mishap.
It was as mishaps go. It was up there. Yeah.
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 I think you were more gutted than I was.
I was a little disappointed because it pushed everything back again, and I like to be 3 weeks ahead.
Yeah.
Well, this is the day before.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But I didn't start this until 2 weeks ago.
Yes. Besides the point.
So I've put some creases and wrinkles and that on the coat.
Yeah.
And now I am making some of the gold coins.
Ah.
So I've used I think you already did this for something else, or because this was already out.
What was already out?
The gold. I think you'd made it with, or done something with it. I've not.
Oh, the gold.
Yeah. And then I thought I'd do some little faces on some of the coins
of the human people.
Yes,
that have been melted.
Yeah. So I've done a couple of eyes, mouth. I've put a nose in there, whites of the eyes, and pupils. And they are. And I've shown this one, but I've done others as well with different expressions. But I thought that's probably the expression you'd have if you were turned into a coin.
Well, yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. So here's the little mishap. So while I was baking it, it fell over and the arm broke off.
It did.
And broke off some of the jacket, and the other arm also cracked a little. Which
you now repair, but every time you put it in the oven after that, I was like, oh, this is broken, and you didn't believe a word I said.
No, it's because you're tricksy.
I am not tricksy. Yeah. I am just delight.
No, you're very tricksy.
I am a delight.
I'd finished baking it. It was on the side, just cooling down, and you were like, why has he only got 4 fingers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I felt was a little tricksy.
Funny though.
I didn't find it funny.
I thought it was hilarious.
I was distressed.
I was absolutely, honestly, so much fun. So much fun. See, and the secret is what I have to do now is just leave it alone for a little bit, and then, like the next big project that you do, just revisit it because you'll have forgotten because you've got a memory like a goldfish sometimes.
For some things, yeah. Other things,
and then you'll remember, and I'll be like, "Ha, got you again."
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the fix.
Yeah. So the right arm, I've drilled another hole, made the armature a little longer, wrapped some more wire around the big piece of wire.
Yeah.
Just so that it's got the inside has got something to grip to.
Yeah.
But also the rest of the clay, because I didn't want to tinfoil it again because that would have taken a little bit more.
Yeah.
More time. So I've put I measured out a worm.
Yeah.
Cut it in half so that I could do the bottom half and then
the top half.
And put the top half in and just smooth them together and then do some more wrinkling.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is that I actually like that arm better than the first one.
Did you do them exactly the same way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you just get better with practice. There's an idea.
Wow. Who knew?
I know.
Who knew that if you practice doing something,
you get better at it?
You get better at it.
This is true.
Yeah. Now, I was fearing for my life at this point, so I bought another airbrush.
You did.
But this one was a lot quieter.
It was. However, there was an issue with it.
Was there?
Yes.
And what was the issue?
So after you'd finished painting, you went downstairs and I was still upstairs.
Oh.
And I was working away, minding my business, doing my thing. And then all of a sudden, I could hear bzzz, but I thought it was the debubbling machine just randomly switching on, making a noise.
No, so this one came with its own mini compressor.
Yeah.
And it's about
a super quiet one.
5 decibels, so you can hardly hear it.
Yeah, it's very quiet.
The only noise you hear is it's maybe vibrating on the desk. It
sounds the same as a debubbler when it first starts.
Yeah.
Which is why I thought it was the debubbler, and I thought the debubbler was
breaking. But every so often,
breaking.
It keeps the pressure up because I didn't switch it off, so it makes a noise.
Yeah. So now you have to switch things off, which is a very alien concept for you.
Yeah. Switching things off and tidying up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Neither of which you're any good at. Yeah. So you're doing his boots in black.
No, I've done the soles of his boots, and then I've wrapped a piece around his leg, and then I'm just smoothing it in. And at the top, I didn't want to just have it stop, so I've rolled it down a bit, so they're like
hobo boots.
They're not like cloth or leather boots that at the top come down.
They're hobo boots.
Are they?
I'm sure that's what they're called.
They're leprechaun boots now.
Well, hobo boots. Yeah.
So and for as far as boots go, I think they look all right.
And now to your favourite part of any sculpt.
Yeah, head. Now I wanted to make him look quite creepy, so I thought I would do the head in translucent.
Because you've not really used that much before, have you?
And while it worked, I wouldn't do it again for the face because it was quite difficult to paint.
Yeah.
And it just it looks okay.
Yeah.
But it was a hell of a lot more difficult. So I'm just going to stick to using that for bones and teeth.
Bones and teeth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what I've done is I've put a line down the middle to mark out the centre of the face. I've done a line at the top to mark out where the top of his eye will be.
Yeah.
I've marked another one at the bottom to mark out where his mouth will be.
Yeah.
And then I've done one halfway in between those to mark out where the bottom of his eye will be.
Yeah.
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 And then I've used a bore stylus just to put a little divot in each side.
Yeah.
And I think that's worked out quite well. And so far, it's looking good. I've put a bit of a worm in the middle just to put his nose in, and then a couple of little round dots on the sides for the nostrils.
Yeah.
And then it starts to look creepy now.
What do you mean it starts to look creepy? It's pretty creepy. Like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I've put some white clay in there for his eyes, and then I've put some eyelids. Now what I should have done is put his eyebrows or a bit of clay over the top to mark out the eyebrows.
Yeah, because you've not,
And then, but I did it the other way around.
Yeah.
And it just didn't, I mean, it looks like a face, although it's a creepy face, but it's a leprechaun. They don't really exist. So I get artistic license.
How do you know they don't exist?
I don't.
Well then.
Well, if you're a leprechaun and you're watching this, let me know.
And more importantly, we are deeply sorry. As we've just lost all our leprechaun supporters.
Yeah. Yeah. So baked him, and you can see it's gonna translucent
colour.
Yeah.
Who knew that that's what clay did?
I know. So I've put his ears on.
Yeah.
I've made a couple of little pointy ears. Now I've bent them on purpose because I'm going to put the hat on, and the hat
is going to bend the ears.
It's going to bend the ears.
Yeah.
Now, handsies.
Oh dear. I have to say, when you were making the hands, where was I?
Nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. Nowhere to be seen.
Just ran off.
He said, I'm doing hands now. And I went, oh, okay then. And off I went.
So what you're saying is that if I need some peace and quiet, I'm just going to say to you, right, I'm going to spend the whole day making hands.
No. I'm fickle and I like to keep you on your toes. So
I've done the palm.
Yeah.
I did the fingers separately.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've put a worm over the top, and I'm just marking out like the knuckles.
Yeah.
And then on the underside, I've marked out, I don't know what you call that bit when you crunch the
palm of your hand.
No, because when you close your palm, all right, when you close your fingers up, there's
pads.
The pads.
They're pads.
Okay, those things. So I did some of those as well. And this is, I'm making some bracelets.
Yeah.
I've done a bit of.
I don't think they're called bracelets though.
Well, what are they then? Wrist bands?
No.
Do you know what they're called?
I did, and now it's gone. It'll come to me. I'm having a Gertism.
Oh God.
I know.
I'm surprised you can actually string a sentence together.
Stop that. We love you, Gert. Right.
Done his wrist thingies.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've put a bit of a gold band around them.
Yeah.
While doing that, I broke a finger.
Okay.
And this is me reattaching a new finger.
Yeah.
And it is sticking out a little bit, but you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So
this is the back of my hand spraying the pot. So I've got the pot, and what I've done is I've put a layer of clay just around the bottom.
Can I just back up a little bit? The pot that you're using is when I first started using an eco resin, I had a few pots that when they were born, I wasn't overly happy with them. So they've literally just sat in the abomination drawer.
The Bruno drawer.
No, the Bruno is stuff that is okay, but
oh, okay.
Whereas abominations are yours.
Oh, that's my abomination box.
Yeah. The abomination box.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what that was.
Mm.
So you just spray it into a cauldron.
So I sprayed it like a silver.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom, put some clay around it so that it would. I needed to raise it up a little bit so that the hands of the leprechaun would touch the rim, but also just to make like a fire, as you saw.
Yeah.
I made a hat. This hat took me forever.
It did. It took you like a day and a half to do a hat. Yeah,
I know. But now I know how to do it. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just making the band that goes around the hat.
Yeah.
Putting a little gold little belt buckle.
Yeah.
And just making sure that when I pick it up, it's not going to fall off.
Yeah.
And then attach it to said hat. I was quite pleased with that hat, though.
I like that hat. So you've done it's a really good. I think considering you've literally sprayed 3 times now.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good job.
Yeah. No, I was really pleased with that.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah.
So I needed to put hair on him.
Yes, you did.
And I used it's like cobwebbing.
I think I've said this in a previous video. It's either
no, it's the cobwebbing.
Oh, it is the.
It is the cobwebbing. Yeah.
Okay.
You can actually tell the difference.
Okay.
So I've chopped a little bit up, glued the back of his head, and then I attached bits of the cobwebbing. Now I did it in layers because if I started from the bottom, so it's the underneath.
Yeah,
of
so it
his
works
hair.
like actual hair.
And that was my plan.
That was because we watched 10 years of, what was that show we used to watch where they did the sci-fi? I can't remember what it was called, but there was
Face Off.
Face Off, yeah,
Face Off,
where it was all sci-fi, science makeup and stuff.
artists.
It was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
See, now I want to watch that again.
Yeah, but you know who wins now.
I know.
But yeah, no, that was really good.
Yeah, no, it was really good.
And so I just took a little time just to go around the back. I wasn't worried about the length of them at this moment in time because I was going to give him a
trim,
give him a haircut, yeah. And then I gave him a handlebar moustache,
yeah,
just because I can.
Well, yes.
And then a beard.
Yeah.
Now I think at this point you went, that looks like Santa.
It did. I was like, you need to dirty up that hair.
And then you gave me some transfer stickers, which I put onto the base.
Yeah.
Just to.
Which is actually quite funny because you start off doing it properly.
Yeah.
And I went downstairs, came back up, and you were using a craft knife. You were like, I can't do it with that.
Yeah, it was too faffy. I was like, no. I did try a couple of times.
Yeah.
See, I did try a couple of times, but yeah, I just got fed up and just took them off the actual thing and just stuck them on myself. It was a lot easier.
Yeah. It is for that type of vinyl because it's a glitter vinyl.
Yeah.
So it's a lot thicker than normal vinyl.
So that was the base, and then I just attached everything to that base and then gave it to you for glamour shots.
I did. And here they are.
Yeah.
So, if you have made it this far, thank you very much for watching.
Yep.
And if you like our sort of creative chaos, please do feel free to hit the like button.
Like button?
Oh my goodness. We have to change that.
No.
You can't leave that in.
No, I can't.
Oh my goodness. Hit the like.
What it down there at the bottom. Give the subscriber tickle.
And don't forget to check out the playlist.
Yeah.
I certainly will. And I've no doubt that I will not be sleeping for a little while because I noticed
You're going to be creeped out.
Well, Johnny Dark's got one in, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I'm still recovering from the skin. Anyone's wondering, that was in the My Bloody Valentine collaboration, and that playlist is, if you check out April's channel, it'll be there. So, but yeah.
Anyway,
that's it. That's all, folks.
Yeah.
We will see you in the next one.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye for now.